I'm meteorologist Melissa Nord. It is 3 o'clock and it is hot and humid outside of North Georgia. And today and tomorrow we remain in a weather impact alert for that combination of high heat and humidity, leading to feels like temperatures in excess of 100 degrees across parts of metro Atlanta both afternoons. So we've been telling you this for about the last week, that it would be hot, it would be humid, and really being smart about the heat is the way to stay prepared. That means hydrating, limiting how much time you're spending outdoors in that peak heating of the day. You don't want to overexert yourself, and make sure that you're listening to your body. If you notice that you're becoming faint, lightheaded, a little bit dizzy, chances are you're starting to be overcome by some heat illness. So you got to move indoors, rehydrated, and just take it easy. Outside right now, across much of metro Atlanta, we have those feels like temperatures around 100 degrees. Now, our dew point, our measure of the humidity outside, has dropped a couple of degrees this afternoon in Atlanta, very similar to the last couple of days. So the current heat index in the city is 96, but out in Athens, it's 102, 103 in Covington, and 105 in Dalton. So there are some areas in North Georgia that are a little hotter than others in terms of the heat index, but big picture, I mean, it's pretty widespread heat that we're dealing with here. You can see the heat alerts on the map, from the heat advisories that stretch from eastern Texas over here into Georgia and the Carolinas, to the extreme heat warnings, which those extreme heat warnings stretch from southern North Carolina all the way up the east coast to the border with Canada. So there are over 100 million people, in fact, I would say closer to 170 million people, that are under extreme heat and heat advisory alerts for today. And as we head into tomorrow as well, the heat is still going to be very intense. We're looking at a heat advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, during which we could see the heat index above 100 degrees, as high as 105 to 107 in a couple of spots. But most of us today and tomorrow are going to be closer to 100 to 103. And technically that criteria for being in a heat advisory is 105 degrees. But when there's that chance, precautiously, because it's the first heat wave of the season, the National Weather Service has placed all of metro Atlanta and much of North Georgia in this heat advisory today and again tomorrow. So that'll run until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And during the afternoon tomorrow, the heat is going to be intense at first, but then storms come back into play. So the heat indices over 100 may not be quite as widespread as what we're dealing with today. Outside right now, a lot of sunshine. This is our live tower camera overlooking the city of Atlanta, and it is hot outside. You don't need me to tell you that. It's 94, feels like 96. Dew point has dropped though. I mean, a couple of hours ago, we had a dew point of 71. Then it dropped down to 68. Now it's down to 64. So that's a pretty considerable drop. And that's the reason why the heat index in Atlanta is not to 100. We need that higher humidity measurement at the airport for us to see that feels like temperature well up above 100 degrees. But these numbers on the map, not even counting in humidity, you know, it's pretty hot. It's the hottest day of the year so far. 96 in Athens, Covington is 95. It's 95 out in Rome as well, and 93 in Dalton. So it's a hot and humid afternoon. And for the rest of today, I mean, we can see these numbers climbing up a few more degrees between now and 6 o'clock, right before sunset. It feels like temperatures will be teetering on that 100 degree mark for the next several hours across North Georgia. Now, the rain chance today looks overall pretty low. So it's really the heat that we're mostly concerned about today. And I mentioned some of those signs earlier of heat-related illness. This kind of spells it out. Heat exhaustion is the less severe of the two categories. During heat exhaustion, you start to feel lightheaded, faint, dizzy. You're sweating a lot. But in addition to that, your heart rate is speeding up and it's becoming a little more faint or weak. So it's a faster, weaker pulse, and you can feel that, of course, on your neck or on your wrist. You can feel how your heart rate is starting to change. But we also, when you have heat exhaustion, when you have those symptoms and signs of heat exhaustion, you know, you don't have to call them right away, but you got to get attention right away and cool that body temperature down. So that means replenishing what moisture you've left by the act of sweating. So drinking a lot of fluids, cool fluids, putting cool water on the back of your neck or on your forehead. Cool yourself down with a cool compress, or take a cool shower, move inside the air conditioning, do what you can to try to cool that body temperature down. If you don't do that, it can progress and become a heat stroke. And at that point, it is a life-threatening medical emergency, and you want to call 911. So we're not trying to scare you by harping on this many, many times, but I just put it bluntly like this. Heat's the #1 weather-related killer in the United States each and every year. And yes, it gets hot here in Atlanta every single summer, but research has shown that the first 5 to 7 days of extreme heat, your body takes that whole time to adjust to it. And because this is our first heat wave of summer, our bodies are not accustomed to that heat and being outside in the heat, working in the heat, the way that they will, in July or in August, when we are used to seeing these kind of heat waves that send us up to the upper 90s. So just take it seriously. I'm not trying to, overharp about it, but at the same time, I want you to know that heat is dangerous when you're outside for too long, especially for the elderly and the really young ones. When you're not paying attention, maybe they're running around at summer camp or something and they've been having a great time outside, but you got to watch them for those signs of heat-related illness. Outside right now, we are dry in North Georgia. I'll actually zoom in because I want to show you we have a few lone showers and storms out in Alabama. And if we zoom that radar out even further, look how we have all these storms moving across the eastern coast of Florida, across the peninsula. There's a little upper level low right in here, and that upper level low is moving in our direction. It makes the heat in the next couple of days less intense than what it is today and tomorrow, but it also brings back the opportunity for showers and thunderstorms. It tries to kind of push that ridge of heat out of here. So today the rain chance is less than 10%. For tomorrow it goes up 40 to 50% chance. We're looking at new model data right now. Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb and myself were just talking about it a few minutes ago. We may have to bump those pops up tomorrow a little bit more than that. We go into Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There is a risk each and every day of some of these pop-up showers and thunderstorms as daytime heat and humidity kind of breaks the cap, so to speak. So we will be tracking showers and storms for the rest of the week after today. Now, tomorrow specifically, that upper low first coming overhead, we are going to have an opportunity for a few stronger thunderstorms tomorrow. There is a level 2 risk of severe weather for much of North Georgia, with the exception of Northwest Georgia. You're in a level 1 risk of severe weather. Thursday, it's a level 1 risk as well. This is not going to be one of those setups where everybody's dealing with severe weather. But what we will be tracking is heavy rainfall and gusty winds. Those will be the main threats as we head through tomorrow and even into Thursday. It's that threat of some gusty winds. So forecast track for the next couple of days. This afternoon, the chance of rain is overall very low, less than 10%. There could be a stray pop-up shower or thunderstorm somewhere. Most of us will be staying dry. That heat dome has a lot of sinking air in it, so it prevents things from bubbling up and growing. But as that heat dome moves a little bit to our northeast, we will see a better opportunity for showers and thunderstorms starting tomorrow. So forecast track tomorrow morning, a dry start. By 2 in the afternoon, you can see a few of those pop-up showers and storms getting started, and then they really blossom over those afternoon hours. So scattered thunderstorms, downpours, all likely. And as we head into the evening hours tomorrow, we could still be dealing with a few of them. Now, this is what our in-house graph model shows. I want to show you a different model for the timing because it does show a slightly different solution. That's the HER model. So it has those few stray showers and storms today. Tomorrow morning, also a mostly dry start. We get into the afternoon. It bubbles up a lot more of those thunderstorms to our east across South Carolina, and then it advances them into the metro later on in the evening. So really just know tomorrow from 2 p.m. all the way through about midnight, we are going to be tracking scattered showers, downpours, thunderstorms that move into parts of North Georgia, and some of them could be strong or severe, with damaging winds being that primary threat. So that's what we'll be tracking for tomorrow, and then by Thursday, a level 1 threat of severe weather with also an opportunity. There could be some showers and storms in the mix. And I'll actually take forecast track out into Thursday so you can see this model in particular is not as impressed about Thursday's coverage, but that little upper level low feature is still going to be over us. So we start the day dry, we get into the afternoon. It's trying to pivot a few of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms over North Georgia, and they fizzle out as we lose daytime heating. So we will be watching that again as we look towards your Thursday and even into Friday, some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. So in the meantime, we are talking a lot about heat. What we also have been talking about today is a little bit of a different story, and that is the tropics. This is our first named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season. I know it doesn't look impressive on satellite data because it is not an impressive storm by any stretch of the imagination. If we didn't have the great satellite technology that we have in space right now, this would not be a named storm. But this is Andrea, and it's going to move into a much more hostile environment in terms of wind shear, cooler ocean waters as it makes its way northeastward over the next 24 hours. So this thing will become kind of a post-tropical low as we look at tomorrow. So that is Tropical Storm Andrea. Not very impressive, and it is named. So it is named, and we'll just leave it there. The next name on the list is Barry. All right, for today here in North Georgia, we're talking about the heat and humidity. Temperatures keep climbing up through the mid and into the upper 90s. The record today is 99. We're going to be close to that. I'm not sure if we'll actually get there based on how we've been trending hour by hour. Tonight, the forecast low is 77. That would break our record warm minimum. So like not the coldest low temperature ever, but the warmest low temperature ever for that date. That would break it. The record for that date tomorrow is just 76 degrees. We're forecasting 77, which is warmer than that record low. And then tomorrow afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms return. Now that pattern of scattered storms not going to move anywhere out of the picture for the next week. That will be the summer-like pattern that we're in through the weekend and into early next week. Meanwhile, the heat will back off just a little bit. We'll keep those temperatures right above average. Today is heat wave day number 5 in a row. Tomorrow make day number 6. We could go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and potentially 12 before this thing finally wraps up. That is your latest extended update here on 11Alive Plus. We'll see you over at the top of the hour on 11Alive News at 4, 5, and 6. We're updating the timing and rain chances for tomorrow. Also, what ingredients we're looking together to come together to produce some of those storms, and if that might help to lower the temperatures for tomorrow afternoon. We'll see you there.